Good morning, good afternoon, whenever you see this video, welcome. My name is Mr. Ramirez. I'm from Aldi 9th grade school. I'm here to help out everybody that is in need of additional instruction. So you will eventually see who I am. For these first couple of videos, I do just want to stick to the way I used to do it. This was my preferred way. Obviously, I have wonderful colleagues that are doing the utmost that they can, but for time restraints, I'm sticking to my old school way from last year. Lesson video, YouTube, couple check-ins here and there, just to make sure you got to where you need to be. For today's lesson, I'll be going over like a glove, least square regressions. Excellent lesson. Please make sure you have a handy dandy Desmos, star Desmos preferably. I have my iPad right here, ready to rock and roll. Make sure it says star Texas so you're on the right track. All right, let's start with the warm-up. Looking at the warm-up, I know most of us are in a funk with how to write equations. So the equation that we want to write is slope-intercept form. I'm gonna write right here next to the warm-up. That's gonna look like y equals mx plus b. Okay, now some of us need that additional assistance to remember. If I count all my ABCs, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to X, Y, Z, these numbers represent the order of X and Y. I said my ABCDs real fast, and when I got to the very end, I said X, Y, Z. X always goes first, Y always goes second. Right here, they did help us with slope. So I'm gonna also label this slope as an M, and they already told us it's 5. Very cool. Couple things that we do gotta recognize is I can use Desmos to input this just so that I can have a very good answer right away. Now, one thing to remember when I use Desmos, we're using y1 tilde mx1 plus b. And I know some of us might notice, hey, that looks kind of like what we just wrote over here of my slope-intercept form. It is the exact same thing, and because we're in this topic of linear regressions, we need this guy to be able to predict values, to write equations, and all that good stuff. We're straying away from the TI-84 because there was a different way to do the TI-84, but we're finding that this is a little bit more efficient. Okay, so I come to my Desmos. Let's see if I could show everything on one screen. Beautiful. Right away, I do want to write X and Y. My preference is to do a table, so I'm going to put a table. My X value is 2, my Y value is 5, so I'm going to put 2, 5. And I'm going to do myself a favor. This slope of M, I'm going to put that right there. M equals 5 in the second row. And I have the necessary information because of what the question gave me to write this equation. So I have to write this exactly the way it is. Third row, y1, you just type it out as is. You don't have to do anything extra. It automatically goes down. My tilde, if you're using an iPad or some type of sort of thing, you got to go to ABC, and then it's over here towards the middle. Sorry, right there. So you're looking for the squiggly line, tilde, mx1 plus b. I'm going to give you a few seconds to kind of catch up because we have a piece of information we need to look at. Pause the video so that you can catch up. After you resume the video, you'll see that there's an answer right here called b equals -5. Eventually, we will come to terms that this is called our y-intercept. That's exactly what we need because we already have our slope. Let's go back to our paper. Okay, so I'm going to write down that b equals, from our Desmos, it's -5. And I'm going to tell you this is the information we need to write this equation that it wants. And what's my equation? This good guy right here. When we write our equation, all we're replacing is that m and that b. So here's my answer. I'm going to leave y alone because that starts my equation. If we look at who my m is 5. Leave x alone because x can be anything. And my b is -5, -5. And there's my answer. Check mark. Pause the video real quick. Give yourself a little bit of time. Maybe you could figure this out. In this case, we are looking for m and b. So do yourself a favor and write that down right here. Oops, sorry. Question mark. Question mark. My answer should look like this. Something blank and blank. Pause the video. Give yourself a second. Okay, so if you're resuming the video, hopefully you took the opportunity. You do want to label this X, Y, X, Y. If you did your ABCs, great. X, Y, X, Y. I do want to make a table for this, so if you need to write yourself a table on the side, go ahead and do that. X and Y, 5, 2, 3, 8. And this table, we want to use Desmos. So I bring back out my Desmos. Plus button, table. I forgot what my 5, 3, 2, 8. 5, 3, 2, 8. There's my table. Let me double check just because I want to make sure I'm putting it correct. Of course, if you feel like I'm going too fast, please pause the video as much as you need. We look good. Okay. Next thing that I want to put, I don't have an m because I don't know what it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in that Desmos equation that we used on the first example. Let's do it. Y1 tilde mx1 plus b. Give yourself a moment, pause the video. Hopefully you get these two answers. Now, because our last example already gave us the end, we couldn't enter that in. So for this case, because we didn't have it, now it's giving us that answer to be able to identify what our equation will look like. Again, if you remember a little before, I talked about how this b is represented as our y-intercept. Our m, if you pay very close attention to number 1, I gave you what m is. Hopefully you can think, reflect, and look back. Our m represents slope. So here's our slope, and here's our y-intercept. Let's write that down. Okay, so our m is -3. Our b is 17. I'm going to box that in because we got the answers. I'm going to refer back to my linear equation. M is in front of our x. B is right afterwards. M is in front of our x. And our b is right afterwards. Since this is positive, I'm going to put plus 17 because it's positive. And there we go. Please rewatch the video if you need to. The next video will cover getting started.